Now, from the Global News Center, the Morning News with Crystal Garrett, Paul Brothers, and Jill Chappell.
Settling in for a big Friday. If you happen to be, for some reason, watching from your car, fasten your seatbelts.
Yes,
because
exactly.
it's going to be quite a ride today.
Well, you know, it's going to be one of those shows when Santa Claus shows up in the studio at about 20 minutes to 6.
Yeah.
Santa
What's up with
is
that?
here.
Yeah.
I felt like an elf, you know, when with the Will Ferrell character's like, Santa!
Yeah.
Santa!
Yeah.
Gave him a big hug.
It's
It's really
exciting.
cuddly, Santa.
I missed all that, but what's Santa here for?
The stuff
Stuff
of
of
us.
us.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Santa's here and has brought an elf.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's full Friday show.
Yeah.
Full Good Friday show. Weather-wise, though, I had to wear my big furry hooded coat today because it was chilly.
Yeah, well, you were talking a little bit earlier about fasten your seatbelts.
Yeah.
You're probably going to want to warm up your vehicle, too, before you head out the door. It is a very chilly day right across the region, and in the Halifax area, we're expecting just a high of -3 today. So it is certainly going to be on the cool side, although we are going to see lots of sunshine. So don't forget to pack your sunglasses for the commute as well. We are going to see the sun rising at 7:37 a.m., setting at 4:35 p.m. So it is going to be a chilly day today across the Maritimes, although we are starting off the morning with mainly clear skies. So just seeing some flurry activity in northern parts of Cape Breton. So we're getting some onshore flurries in these northwest winds, particularly in eastern parts of northern Cape Breton. But it is going to taper off later today, and we will see a mix of sun and cloud in much of Cape Breton Island. Take a look at the temperature this morning in Edmundston. If you think it's cold in Halifax, -27 to start off the day, ranging up to -6 in Sydney. We're sitting at -9 currently in Halifax. Bundle up when you head out the door. Don't forget your camera, because you're going to need to take a weather photo for me of all of your winter clothes that you'll be sporting today. You can send them to me by Facebook, Twitter, or email.
That camera's probably going to freeze if you're taking a photo in Edmundston. Our apologies to you. Edmundston, -27 degrees on this Friday morning. Let's take a first look at news headlines up to 6:02 this morning. Our top story, a 25-year-old man will be in court later today after police arrested him in connection with an assault in Fairview.
Now, the incident caused a lot of disruption in the neighborhood as police had to block off several streets to search for the man. It all began around 7 yesterday morning when Halifax police were called to a domestic dispute that left a woman with minor injuries. A suspect fled the scene and police believed he had a knife. Officers tracked the man to an apartment building on Dawn Street, but they didn't locate him there. Later in the day, police returned to the address on Central Ave where the initial call had been made. They found the suspect there and arrested him. He now faces charges of sexual assault, unlawful confinement, and uttering threats.
Well, tomorrow marks a day that Halifax will never forget. It is the 97th anniversary of the Halifax explosion, Crystal.
Many will gather tomorrow morning at Fort Needham Memorial Park to mark the occasion, as they have for decades. But there is a plan to enhance the site in advance of the 100th anniversary. Close to 50 people met at the United Memorial Church in Halifax last night to discuss the future of the park. The explosion memorial site is not well known as a tourist attraction, and Councillor Jennifer Watt says more needs to be done on surrounding streets to indicate what she calls a hidden gem.
We're certainly looking at Fort Needham Memorial Park as being one of the places to do a significant legacy project, considering that it's in the north end. It does have the Memorial Bell Tower right now and has been the site for the annual commemoration event for the explosion.
We'd like to, see how we can get more people to come and appreciate the park, and also ask people, what do they want? What kind of experiences do they want in the park?
The master plan is expected to be complete by spring. Ceremonies commemorating the Halifax explosion will get underway tomorrow morning at 8:50 at the Fort Needham Bell Tower.
Meantime, members of the Association of Community Organizations for Reform Now, or ACORN as they're known, they're calling for housing reform here in Halifax. Members of ACORN met with low-income residents and heard stories of run-down apartment buildings where they say requests to have them fixed are often ignored or delayed. One man talked about the infestation of bed bugs in a Halifax apartment building that has existed for years and still exists today. Another woman told Global News her basement apartment on Nivens Avenue in Dartmouth is being neglected. Her doors were painted, she says, but that's not the main problem.
They're not taking care of the black mold and my floor separating from the baseboard. That's causing water to come in onto the carpet and there will be mold there. It's been pretty near a year since I told them about the floor separating.
McKay says she's heard excuses like the landlord is over budget and can't make repairs. ACORN will ask the city to help resolve problems with solutions like rent control or landlord licensing.
RCMP in Halifax plan to honor their colleagues who died in the Moncton shootings last June with a permanent memorial. A plaque will be unveiled at the Lower Sackville RCMP detachment at 9 a.m. by City Councillor Steve Craig. It will honor Constables Douglas Larche, Dave Ross and Fabrice Gévaudan. The memorial plaque will sit in front of 3 maple trees planted in their honor.
In other news this morning, the provincial government has introduced some new and stronger standards now for pet owners in Nova Scotia. Agriculture Minister Keith Caldwell says new regulations prohibit tethering of dogs for more than 12 consecutive hours. Changes will also make it easier for inspectors to break vehicle windows and rescue animals in distress.
I look forward to the day that we don't ever have to write a ticket again in the province for animal cruelty or to charge anyone in that regard. Hopefully we'll get there one day. I think we're quite a ways away from that.
It really does start with the kids. I mean, my kids will grow up knowing that, you know, you protect animals. You don't kick them, you don't beat them, you feed them, you love them, you shelter them.
The SPCA agrees more education is needed to prevent animals from ending up in shelters. A veterinarian certificate of health will also now be required in order to sell both cats and dogs to help curb puppy mill activity. Well, Christmas quickly approaching. Many people are in the spirit of giving these days, and what better way to give than the gift of food, Crystal?
Yeah, that's where the Stuff a Bus campaign comes in. The event is celebrating 24 years. Now, Global's Julie Wong is outside our studios on Gottingen Street, apparently on board one of these buses. Julia, is that true?
Good morning, Paul and Crystal. Yes, it is, and I'm not just here by myself. I'm joined with some very special guests, actually, that we want to show you. Some visitors from the North Pole who have come here to join us, and I'm also especially joined by Joelle Majot. She's the Stuff a Bus representative for ATU 508, and they're involved with the Stuff a Bus campaign, and really the concept is quite simple. We want to stuff this bus today with food donations, monetary donations, anything for families who are in need this holiday season. So first we want to turn to Joelle and ask how this campaign started.
We're on our 24th year. It was started back in 1990 by an operator named Jim Bartlett and his son. His son came up with the idea of helping families around town, and he took the idea up to, and he ran with it. And 24 years later, we're still at it.
Now tell me, how much were you guys able to raise last year, not only in terms of food donations, but monetary donations?
Monetary donations were just around $200,000 in monetary donations, and we have approximately 20,000 kilograms of food so far.
Okay, and what's the goal for this year's?
To get what we had last year and hopefully beat it.
Okay, so tell me, how is that going to happen today? How are you guys going to be collecting donations?
Well, we actually have over 85 companies, daycares, and schools have already pre-registered, so that's why we're going to pick up each one. If anybody hasn't registered already and if they still want to donate, they can go to any Scotiabank branch in the local area. They can go to Feed Nova Scotia on the Bedford Highway, or they can come to C100 this morning between 7:30 and 9. We will be on the street collecting money and food donations, and if you want to have a picture with Santa, come check it out.
Why is this event so important? Why should people in the Halifax area be giving today?
Well, as everybody knows, this time of year is always, hard, because you have to buy Christmas gifts, and, there's a lot of people now that aren't getting enough money to support their family with food, and, and the luxuries like toothpaste and stuff, and you just can't afford it all. So as much as we can do to raise money and help somebody who's a single parent with a couple of kids, or anybody who needs it, it's a great event, and it's the most successful fundraising event in Metro to the date.
Awesome. Now, what's it like for you guys to help facilitate this for families in need this season?
It takes a lot of work. There's a lot of people involved. The union is very supportive of, we all do it together. We all volunteer our time off. And basically, it's just a lot of togetherness, and anything we can do together, we do it.
All right. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Joelle. Thank you, Santa. Thank you to the elves and everyone who came out this morning. So there you have it, Stuff a Bus campaign going on today. Several ways that you can take part and help out families in our area who are in need this holiday season. Back to you guys.
All right, Julia, thank you so much. What great visuals of the bus being unloaded. It really will get stuff today. That's fantastic. With everyone's generosity, of course.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good morning. Global's Julia Wong reporting on board a Halifax Transit bus for the Stuff a Bus campaign on this Friday morning. Well, Nova Scotia was the center of a massive annual Christmas celebration on the Boston Common last night as well. Crystal's favorite, fireworks at Christmas? Thousands turned out for the annual tree lighting ceremony and the Holiday Lights concert. Now, the tree, decorated with thousands of lights, is the 43rd given to the people of Boston by Nova Scotia as a symbol of thanks for the aid they sent to Halifax following the Halifax explosion in 1917. Delegation of Nova Scotians, including Premier Stephen McNeil, Halifax Mayor Mike Savage, among the crowd who took in the festivities. Boston Mayor Martin Walsh says the tree is more than just a gift. It is a symbol of the strong friendship between Nova Scotia and Boston. And gas prices in Nova Scotia have dropped to $1.07 per litre, the lowest price in 4 years. The regulated price dropped more than 20 cents a litre since the beginning of October. That means on an 80-litre fill-up, you're saving about $16. Gas prices have been dropping right across the country. Analysts at Desjardins Economic Studies say that means Canadians are collectively saving about $165 million per week compared to 2 months ago.